We are the sun that rises. No compromises. For us, healthy is not just a trend. It is our weekday. It is our weekend. But health at the cost of taste? A question rises. Not for us, for we make no compromises. The India of today makes no compromises on health or taste. And that is why it chooses US cranberries. US cranberries, the taste of health.
Hello, Namaste. Welcome to FitTech. You are watching Healthy Living with SHARAN. I am Rashi Tiwari, a health coach and a nutrition consultant at SHARAN. Today we'll be talking about what are the best sources of calcium and protein in your diet. Before we get into the topic, I would like to stress that both protein and calcium are required in abundance in your early stages of life. Calcium is required when your bones have to harden, when you have to develop teeth. And similarly, protein is required for your growth during your childhood. So once you grow up into an adult, the requirement of both calcium and protein are minimal. It is, however, a myth that we require calcium and protein all the time in our life. Let's first begin by talking about protein. What are proteins? You would have heard of protein everywhere. Well, protein is a basic component of cell. Every living cell in this planet contains protein. And proteins are made up of amino acids. Our body can synthesize maximum of amino acids that are required to synthesize a protein. The majority of the amino acids that are required to synthesize a protein can be synthesized by our own body. There are very few essential amino acids that we need to derive from external sources. And the primary source is, of course, plants. All the animals also derive their proteins by eating plants. Well, it is also a big myth that proteins can only be derived best from animal sources. That's not true. What happens when we consume animals or animal proteins, including dairy? Our body is alkaline in nature, and when we consume protein that is coming from animal source, it creates acidity in our system, and that acidity leads to calcium leaching out of your bones, making your bones porous and fragile. So to avoid this, it is always better to only derive your protein from plant sources. Now you must be wondering, how can I get protein from plants like fruits, vegetables? All the food provided by nature comes in a complete package. You must be wondering, how can I get protein from consuming an apple or a green leafy vegetable? So nature designs its product in such a way that it doesn't just have phytonutrients, minerals, vitamins. All the foods also contain hidden fat, a significant amount of carbohydrate and proteins. Yes, even an apple or a spinach can have protein. So you do not have to worry about how do I derive protein. Because being an adult, the only requirement for protein is for maintenance. Because you have already grown now. Only when you are fighting infection, your body requires protein. So now let us see what are the plant-based sources, whole plant-based sources of proteins. The richest sources of proteins are nuts like almonds, peanuts, and several pulses like chana dal, urad dal, chickpeas, moong dal, all the dals that we use on our daily basis. Not just that, a lot of seeds like fenugreek seeds, mustard seeds also have protein. And the richest sources is of course soya bean. So all the beans and legumes are also rich in protein, and they also come with lot of phytonutrients and fiber. So that is a plus point when you are consuming sources of protein from plants. However, if you consume animals for protein sources, you will have no fiber and you will have high cholesterol and saturated fat, which will be really harmful for your body. Now coming to calcium. Calcium is a major mineral in our body, but as an adult, as I already mentioned, we require just to maintain your bones and teeth and for other cellular processes. It's again a myth that we require a lot of calcium. Once you grow, too much of calcium can be actually toxic for you. It can calcify your arteries, it can create kidney stones and several other diseases. So the best sources of calcium, as we know, are plants. In nature, calcium comes as a hidden bound form. It comes in it doesn't exist freely in nature. It is packaged by nature in a bound form. So it can be found in nature as calcium carbonate or oxalate, calcium citrate, phytate, a lot of compounds. So when we are cooking the food, like soaking, fermenting, boiling, baking, all these processes actually releases the calcium out of its bound form, and so that it is freely available for us to absorb. The richest sources of calcium from plants are actually all the seeds that we use, and I'm sure it is all present in your kitchen, like sesame seeds or til, poppy seeds, jeera or cumin seeds, even ajwain, CAROM seeds, and all the green leafy vegetables. They are full of calcium. So if you are eating a normal healthy diet with all the spices and all the green leafy vegetables, you do not have to worry about where do I get my calcium from. You will have enough and the body will know how much to absorb. That's all for today from me. I wish you good health and happiness always. Take care. Goodbye.